Hi, it's Mr. Estrada here. Our learning target for this video is I can classify triangles based on their angles and sides. So the triangle classifications we will look at in this video are scalene, isosceles, equilateral, and right triangle. You should already know acute triangle and obtuse triangle. In an acute triangle, all the angles are acute, meaning that they are all less than 90 degrees. And in an obtuse triangle, you have one obtuse angle, meaning one angle more than 90. We're not going to look at these though. You should already know these. We're going to focus on scalene, isosceles, equilateral, and right. So let's get to it. A scalene triangle has no equal angles and sides. So you'll notice here that none of the angles are the same. Angle A is 30, angle C is 110, angle B is 40. So none of the angles are the same. In addition to none of the angles being the same, none of the sides are the same. Side AC measures 10 centimeters. Side BC measures 8 centimeters. And side AB, or BA, measures 15 centimeters. So in a scalene triangle, you have no equal angles and sides. None of the sides are equal and none of the angles are equal. In an isosceles triangle, so let's look at isosceles. In an isosceles triangle, you have two equal angles and sides. So you'll notice that angle A is equal to angle C. So you got two equal angles. And you also have two equal sides. Side AB is equal to side BC. So that's what happens in an isosceles triangle. You have two equal angles and you have two equal sides. This side is equal to this side. And with these marks, you're indicating that these sides are equal to each other. And with these little arches here, you're indicating that these angles are equal to each other. Okay, let's look at another classification. We have an equilateral triangle. So in an equilateral triangle, you have three equal angles and sides. So all the angles are equal, all the sides are equal. And then finally, we have a right triangle. So in a right triangle, you have one right angle. So in this case, angle C is equal to 90. So this is a right triangle because it has one right angle. All right, let's work out some examples that ask us to use these definitions. Example 1 says, the angles in a triangle are in a ratio of 1 to 1 to 2. Determine if this triangle is a right triangle. For some of you, it might be the first time that you're seeing this. Don't panic. I'll show you what to do with it. So let's go ahead and just draw the scenario that we have here. I'm going to draw a triangle. And what this is saying is, it's saying that the angles are in a ratio of 1 to 1 to 2. So here's what I want you to do with this. I want you to just put these ratios in terms of x, meaning you have 1x, 1x, and 2x. So these x's here, what they represent are angle measurements. So you have an angle that's 1x, you have another angle that's 1x, and another angle is 2x. And by the way, this diagram that I just drew here is not drawn to scale. I'm just drawing a picture to help us with the problem. So it's not drawn to scale. So how do we determine if the triangle is a right triangle? Well, we have to solve for x and find the angle measurements. Find the angle measurements. So let's solve for x. We know that 1x plus 1x plus 2x are supposed to equal up to 180. These are supposed to add up to 180. So altogether, we're going to get 4x equals 180. And when you solve for x, you get x equals 180 divided by 4, which is 45. So what that means is that this angle here is 45 degrees, and it means this angle here is 45 degrees. This angle here is going to be 2 times 45, which is 90. So this is a 90-degree angle. So what does that mean? Well, since you have a 90-degree angle, this is a right triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write that. Since the triangle has a 90-degree angle, it is a right triangle. And that is my final answer. And you know, that's why I said this picture was not drawn to scale, because it doesn't look like a right triangle, but technically this is supposed to be a right triangle. Okay, let's try another example. It says in triangle ABC, measure of angle A equals 3x plus 1, measure of angle B equals 4x minus 17, and measure of angle C equals 5x minus 20. Which type of triangle is triangle ABC? So again, I'm just going to go ahead and just draw a triangle. This is not drawn to scale, so I'm just going to write not drawn to scale here. And it says you have A, B, and C. And it says A is 3x plus 1. It says B is 4x minus 17. And it says angle C is 5x minus 20. So we know that these angles, angle A plus angle B plus angle C, we know they're supposed to add up to 180. So we can write 3x plus 1 plus 4x minus 17 plus 5x minus 20 equals 180. Combine the like terms, 3x plus 4x plus 5x, that's 12x. Then we got 1 minus 17 minus 20. That's negative 36 equals 180. Add 36 to both sides. 180 plus 36 is 216. So we get 12x equals 216. Divide both sides by 12. And we get x equals 18. We're still not finished. So if x equals 18, that means angle A is going to be equal to 3 times 18 plus 1. 3 times 18 is 54, plus 1 is 55. So this is 55 degrees. Angle B is going to be 4 times 18 minus 17. And that's also going to be 55 degrees, right? This is Supposed to do 4 times 18 minus 17, and that gives us 55. And then here, we got 5 times 18, that's 90, minus 20, that's 70. So this angle here is 70 degrees. So we have 55, 55, and 70. Let's make sure they add up to 180 so we know we did everything right. 55 plus 55 is 110, plus 70, it is 180. All right, so what type of triangle is it? Well, we know it's not a right triangle. We know that because it doesn't have a 90-degree angle. And we know it's not equilateral because in an equilateral, all the angles are the same. So it's isosceles because two sides are equal. Excuse me, two angles are equal. Angle A is equal to angle B. Let's try one more. And this one says, so let me just cover this up for a second. And I'll cover that up too. It says, a triangle has vertices A, -2, -5, B, 2, -1, and C, 7, -6. Determine if the triangle is a right triangle. So I went ahead and I graphed it. So this is triangle ABC. And we're being asked to determine if it's a right triangle. Well, what do we know about right triangles? So I wrote something here for you. We know that a right triangle has a right angle. To determine if a triangle has a right angle, we must determine if any of the sides are perpendicular. To determine if any of the sides are perpendicular, we must find the slopes of each of the sides and determine if any of the slopes of the sides are negative reciprocals. So to answer this question, we have to find the slopes of each of the sides. So what's the slope of AB? Well, we know it's a positive slope, and it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope of AB is 1 over 1, because 4 over 4 is equal to 1 over 1. So let me just make that a 4. What's the slope of BC? Slope of BC. Well, we know it's going to have a negative slope because it's going down, and it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes down 5 over 5, which is equal to -1 over 1. And the slope of AC is also negative. It goes down 1 over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the slope of AC is equal to -1 over 9. So what do we notice? You're going to notice that, or you should notice, that the slope of AB and the slope of BC are actually negative reciprocals. 1 over 1 is the negative reciprocal of -1 over 1. So what does that mean? That means that AB is perpendicular to BC. These lines are perpendicular, and if these lines are perpendicular, it means this is a 90-degree angle. And if this is a 90-degree angle, then it means this is a right triangle. So we're going to write our final answer. Triangle ABC is a right triangle because AB is perpendicular to BC, since the slopes of AB and BC are negative reciprocals. That's our final answer. Okay, I hope this video helps. Take care.